everybody, it's Lauren Brown, also known as Raggedy Royal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. And today we're going to be doing this pink half cut crease. As always, you can do the same steps that I'm going to show you in different colors. But today we're going to be using brown and pink. And the reason why we're using brown and pink, hold up. Let me show you why we're using brown and pink. We're using brown and pink because I saw this pretty lady on Instagram, which is Elise M Makeup, or Elise. Let me see, your full name is Elizabeth. So Elise M Makeup on Instagram had this pretty pink eyeshadow and blush, and I was like, ooh, I need to dabble in pink, pastel pink makeup today. So here is the look that we are inspired by, and where I decided that I needed to get into pink blush and this entire look. So we're gonna be doing this look today. Make sure you give it a like if you learn anything. Subscribe. You know, just get out of the way now, because you're gonna enjoy yourself. You're gonna learn a thing or two. So let's get right into the tutorial. Okay, so we're starting out with the eyes already primed. I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer and a flat foundation brush just to go over the primer to make sure that we don't have any creases or folds on our canvas. When you open your eyes and close your eyes, that causes the primer to crease, and that can just make some mess later on. So to make sure that it is nice and flat. Now that we have that handled, let's get into the actual eyeshadow. Half cut creases are one of my favorite techniques, one of my favorite styles to do. They're super beginner friendly, and you can switch out these colors and it'll make so many different eyeshadow looks. Like, it'll be the exact same look, but it will look so different when you switch the colors out. Today we're going to be using brown on the crease and pink on the lid. So we're going to open our Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette, you know, my favorite palette for neutrals. I'm going to be taking a Morphe M456 that looks like this, and I'm going to go right into the shade Buns. Even from that 1 second of talking, I kind of creased it a little bit more, so we're going to flatten that out, and we're going to go right into the crease. So I'm going to start on the outer corner. I always like to start with the outer corner. I don't know, this feels more manageable, but you can start on the inner if you would like. We're going to start on the outer corner and just go all around the crease. This is the crease of your eye. When you open your eye and close your eye, that little piece right there, that's your crease. And sometimes we have creases that look different from one another's. Everybody's crease is like a different size, different shape, but that is your crease, and that's where we're going to go. It's sort of like the midpoint between your lid and your brow bone, which is right underneath where your eyebrows are. And as you can see, this piece right here is not perfect. This little blend that we just put is not perfect. We have so much more to blend, but I just want to start right there, placing the color down so we kind of have a guideline. Now I'm going to take a denser brush, so I'm going to be taking this Colourpop E15, and as always, if you don't have the exact materials that I have, you don't have the exact palette, the exact brush, just get something comparable. It might not be a Colourpop E15, but you want to go for something with this shape, and it might not be the Jaclyn Hill palette, but you want to go for something with these shades, or if you want to do a different color, as I'm doing a medium brown, just do a medium purple. Light brown, do a light purple. You could do things like that. I want everybody to feel encouraged to do this look. I don't want anybody to feel discouraged because of materials. Alrighty, so I'm going to go into the shade Butter, which is right here. This is a lighter brown. And one thing when you work with brown shadows you want to be mindful of is the tone of the brown. I'm going for a warm brown. So as you can see, this brown right here, it almost has an orange pink undertone to it. It's very warm. So I'm just being mindful of that since I used a warm middle brown. I'm going to use a warm light brown and so on and so forth. But it really gets tricky only with browns when it comes to the undertones. Like, it could be so different. Anyways, I'm a color nerd. Y'all know that by now. If this is your first video, welcome. I'm a color nerd. Alrighty, so I'm going to take my Colourpop brush and I'm going to blend right on top of where I put Buns before. So we're going into the crease and a little bit above where we put that first shade. I'm going to do the same on the other eye. I like to do both eyes at the same time. Let me know down below if you like doing one eye and then the other eye. I know some artists like doing that, but I like to do them both at the same time. I feel like it gives me a higher chance of them being even. Yeah. Kind of like when you work out one entire side of your body and then the other is like, I don't know if this was even. Because now the other side is all tired. I don't know. I don't know if this is even. So I like to do them both at the same time. And I'm just going to blend until I feel satisfied, right? I'm not blending until it looks perfect and it's all blended out to the brow bone because I have another shade to add, 2-3 more shades to add. So I'm not really pressed about that, but until I feel like I've incorporated this color well, I think I'm pretty satisfied. Now I'm going to take my handy dandy trusted fave, this BH Cosmetics brush that I've had since middle school. And actually it had eyelash glue in it. And I had all the ragdolls pray for it, but she's made a speedy recovery and she's back on the prowl and I can use her again. So thank y'all for y'all prayers. I'm going to use a brush like this, and you'll see as we go up the eye, we're going to use less dense and less dense brushes. I don't know if I said denser before, but less dense brushes. So you see this is the densest and this is lowest in the eye. And when I say dense, I just means that the bristles are not so finely packed. So you see in here, they're packed very close together. It's really skinny. And then it widens out as I'm going up the eye. If you want me to do a video on eyeshadow brushes and like what should be used for what and things of that capacity, let me know, because it does make a difference what you use for what. So I'm going to go into this shade here called MFEO. I'm going to use this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend right on top of those shades that I just blended. Right into the brow bone. And when I use a white primer, sometimes people say, oh my goodness, like, whoa, very stark. It's gonna be a very stark contrast. But I always blend my eyeshadow all the way up to the brow bone. So as you can see, we're really covering that white for real. It's not the stark white that you see on this side. Because we're blending, we're incorporating. So no worries here. I have my glitter brows on today. Let me know if you like them. And if you want to see how to color brows, because my eyebrows are not red, I have a video on that too. But onto this eye, same method. And as we go up here, I'm not really using the windshield wiper that I was using before. And that's simply because this is a bigger brush and a smaller space. So, and also the thing about having colored brows is if this brush gets on the red, like I'm gonna have red everywhere, because red is such a stressful color. I swear, it gets on everything, everywhere. So I'm just using little circles, you see, instead of the big windshield wiper motion as I was using lower in the eye. I'm also not really packing as much color, especially because this color is lighter. I'm just kind of blending it out. Instead of the first shade that we did, I was really packing the color in. Making sure I get this little piece right here. I used to never get this little piece when I started doing my eyeshadow, and I would always have to face tune it, and it was just a lot. So I gotta make sure This is an attack on by the enemy. Don't worry. See, that's the only thing about when your eyeshadows have a lot of fallout, is like, got it on my hand, now it's on my face, it's on every single one of my fingers. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I tried to face with a little setting powder, that did not work. We're gonna do that. Covered a little concealer, and this is why I always do my eyes before my face. When I do YouTube videos, I do my face before my eyes, just because I want the focus to be on the eyes. Anyways, that will do for now. Moving on. I'm making sure I get that little piece. And yeah, now we're gonna go back in and incorporate that first shade that we used. We're gonna be using our Morphe M456, going into Buns, and going into the crease. I'm going to take that Colourpop brush and just blend out. I'm basically just repeating the steps that we did before. Blending is not blending is not placing color. You don't just place it once and then it's like, okay, well, not going back into that. The more and more you decide to, you take your time and go back in and switch your brushes and, really look and say, oh, the better your blend will be. Alrighty, now I'm going to take that M456, which is the brush we were just using, but I'm going to go into a deeper shade. So, what shade will I choose? I think I'm going to go into Mocha, which is right here. Ooh, right here in this corner. I'm going to wipe my hand off before we have a part 2 of our first faux pas. If you want to know why my palette is so dirty, I use this for my Faux Freckles, which I just posted a tutorial on recently on how I do that. So, if you watch that video, you know it creates a lot of fallout. Pray for me. After I went into that shade, I'm going to go into the crease again. Because I want more depth in the crease than buns can provide us. I did Mocha, and I'm going to add a little bit of chip too. Because I really want that depth in the crease, that darkness in the crease. So when we cut it, it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? We cut the crease as a bigger contrast between the shade on the lid and the shade in the crease. Oh yeah, I'm liking these shades of brown. I'm now going to take a Morphe M433, which is a little bit denser than that brush. And I'm going to go into buns and maybe a little bit of this Mocha. On the buns. Also, mixing shades that you're blending together can also help you find a good middle shade. For example, if I'm trying to blend buns, which is a little bit above Mocha and chip that we just added, I'm gonna go into buns with a little bit of Mocha too, just to find that middle shade, just to help the blend. So that's something that you can always do, especially if you're doing color blends. Like if you're trying to blend yellow and pink together, you can always add an orange and try to blend that together, you know. Add an orange shadow, because it'll just help it blend. That's kind of just how the color wheel works. You're trying to blend a yellow and a blue, you're going to want to put green in between, just so that can help you out a little bit. Because you can spend all your time trying to put the yellow and the blue together to make the green, or you can just add a green shadow and just use that to help you. So, or dip it into both, and that will help you. So that's basically what I'm doing now, using these browns, dipping it into both, kind of making a middle shade just to help me blend out a little bit more and make it a little bit more seamless. Tap it off, because I tapped it a lot to show you my analogy. And now we're just going to blend right. And now we're going to blend right on top of the crease. Yes, indeedy. Okay, I'm loving how the bottom of the crease is looking, but I just want to go in again with those other colors just to make it a little bit more cohesive. So I'm going to go in with butter on the Colourpop brush. This eye looks amazing. You know, sometimes you have to pick favorites. This eye looks amazing. It's usually my left eye that always looks better. Maybe because it's the second eye that I start on. I don't know. But yes. And then I'm going to go in with my BH Cosmetics brush and that lighter shade. And blend on the top near the brow bone. Yeah. Ooh. Going back in. Dark shade. Going back in with the middle shade. I'm just reinforcing our blend until it looks cohesive and not so much like, oh, there's a layer of this shade, there's a layer of that shade, there's a layer of that shade. I'm trying to create unity, all right? Oh yes, it's time to cut the crease. I'm gonna use this craft brush. This is called Simply Simmons. It's from Michaels. It looks like this. It's just a small detail brush. My favorite small detail brush store closed. So I'm Moment of silence for Coastal Scents. I'm going to go into this primer. I always put the primer on the back of my hand just because it's easier to kind of maneuver than putting the primer directly on the brush. You can just see, if I say, ooh, that's too much, I can just wipe it down. If I want some more, I can scoop it up. It's just so handy. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut halfway. This is why it's called a half cut crease. I'm going to really cut, I lied. I'm going to cut about 3/4 because we're going to blend in. So it's going to be half of the lid, but we're going to add a little bit of space so that we can blend the browns in. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to start in my inner corner, and I'm going to cut the crease. And sometimes it's a beautiful drag, and sometimes, you know, it's not. Sometimes the primer is a little bit dry and it doesn't give me that satisfactory one quick swipe. And I'm going to fill in the lid. I'm going to keep going over the crease. You see how it's a little rough and it's going up above the line in some places? You have to go as far as the highest point. So if the highest point is up here, we're just going to have to make the whole line up there. This is how cutting your crease gets out of hand. There we go. So we're going about 3/4 of the eye. I'm just flattening out the primer. And yeah, there we go. Now we have to do the other eye. I'm going to try to make the other eye match as well as possible. But you know, your eyes are not the same size or length. My eyes are not the same size or length either. So sometimes you just have to make it match. It's not going to exactly match, but it has to look like it's going to match. Kind of crease. I feel like going fast makes cutting the crease much easier. I always get a lot of comments like that, like, oh, you cut it so fast. I feel like going slow, waste of time. Because if it's going to mess up, it's going to mess up. And I'd rather just, you know, hurry up and mess it up and fix it than holding my breath. It's just a crease. It's so much area of eye. Alright, these are not even. Let me tell you right now. This is very important that they be even, because otherwise your eyes will look totally different and it's going to bother you when you take pictures because you're not going to know what it is. I'm telling you what it is. If it's not your eyelashes, it's your creases not being exactly the same. And that's fair because your eyes are not exactly the same length. Like mine definitely are not the same length, but you have to make them look like they are. Much better. Okay, so I kind of went a little bit too high with the primer on this side. So I'm going to take, this is an eyebrow brush. I'm going to take an eyebrow brush and go into that dark brown. I'm just going to go right along it just because I really like that contrast when I do cut creases. And I want the line to look super sharp. So now I'm going to go back in with the concealer, not the concealer, the eyeshadow primer. And just make that line again. Yeah. Alrighty. Now it's time for the lid. So I'm going to take a flat brush. This is a Colourpop E3. Honestly, if you've seen my rhinestone eyeshadow tutorial, then this is the same process. It's just not adding rhinestones. Half cut creases are so versatile. I'm going to go into this color Raine Pretty Chic palette. I'm going to go into the shade Secret Admirer, which is this light pink here, and I am going to pat. This is a matte, so I'm going to pat the eyeshadow in instead of swiping it along the lid. I'm going to pat it right onto the lid. I'm trying to make sure that I get as close to that cut crease as possible, but being mindful that this is a bigger brush than the brush that we cut it with, so you know, we don't want to be too wild and too crazy with it. I'm packing on the inner corner first. and then going out. So you see I'm making sure that that inner corner is nice and packed, and then starting to go out instead of just putting patches all over the crease. Be careful along the edges of your cut crease, because this big brush and that fallout, it can get so crazy. You'll see on this end, it kind of went out of bounds. No worries, taking that brown, blending it in. I tell you how to be careful just so that you don't have to waste your time, but honestly, if you make a mistake, very easy to fix. If you go out of bounds, very easy to fix. I'm gonna go on to the next eye and do the same thing. All right, now here, this is what I personally feel like is the secret step of half cut creases and why they always look so clean, is because of this blend that we're about to do on the outer corner. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the shade Butter, which is our light brown, or our medium brown. Medium brown? It's a light brown. And we are going to go right on top of that pink on the outermost edge of the cut crease. Blending that in. And what I'll even do is go back over it with that pink, just to make sure that it's real seamless on the blend. Not as harsh. Alright. Next, and I'm using another flat brush. This is a Colourpop E4, by the way. I'm going to go into the shade Buns, which is this medium brown right here. I'm going to go right outside of the lighter brown. So I'm just going to go a little bit here, a little bit here. This is really this to seal the deal right here. We're going to take this Morphe M456, which is the dense brush from before, and we're going to go into Buns and Mocha. No, Chip and Mocha. The dark browns. And we're going to lightly blend in on the corners. And that's what makes the eyeshadow look seamless. That's what makes the eyeshadow look like, ooh, that blend. That seals the deal, that outer corner. So that is the top of the eye. Now I'm going to put white in my waterline. I'm a little bit nervous because my eyes are a little bit watery, and they're usually not watery, but c'est la vie. So I'm going to put white in my waterline, and I'm going to be using the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and a craft brush, like always. I'm going to go along the eye. My eyes are watering, they're usually not, so I'm a little bit nervous because, yeah, they're watery because I used a makeup removing balm to get off my mascara. And that probably was just way too much for my eyes, because usually I just let the mascara just come off on its own. And I just put the pink right on top. Brands like Colourpop and Makeup Forever have so many great waterline pencils, and that's not one. So many great waterline pencils in so many different colors, so I usually never have to do this. But for a baby pink, like a matte baby pink, I don't think I have one, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit of eyeshadow right here. Okay, I'm not crying. Watery eyes is like another thing that's like, ooh, I don't know how to help. Like, sometimes you just have to take the L. You can always use a Q-tip to put on your outer bottom half of your eye, wherever your eye is watering. But I'd say the best thing to do if your eyes watering is just not put makeup right there. Like when I was in high school, my eyes would water in the morning because I woke up too early and I didn't get no sleep. So my eyes would always water right here. And I used to think like, okay, I'm just gonna put a lot of setting powder right here. That's a terrible idea because you know what happened? All the setting powder would just cool up right underneath the tears. So I say the best thing to do is just not put any makeup right there because you're gonna cry it off. You're gonna mess it up. You're gonna mess the texture of it up. Best thing to do if your eyes watering. Don't put no makeup right there. You could use a Q-tip if you really, really need to. But like, sometimes I just take defeat. I'd be like, okay, well, nothing on the bottom. And that's that. Because I'd rather there be nothing there than something there that's like smeared and messed up. Anyways, I'm going to take this Colourpop E3 from before. And I'm also going to go on the lower lash line. And I'm going to also take this Morphe M433, which is a brush that we were using earlier. I have multiple of these because it's just such a handy brush for eyeshadow. And I'm going to blend that out and like make it look good. But I wanted to pack it first with that flat brush because, you know, when the brushes are closer together, it's more dense. It's better for packing color on. And since it's such a pastel pink, I'm like, let me pack it first. And then I love pastel lower lash lines. I feel like they just open up the eye so much. You make it look so innocent, so pretty, and so cool, and I love them so much. But I don't get to like do them a lot because sometimes they just don't match with my looks. But I had to. All right, check me out. I'm gonna take this Morphe brush that came in their vegan collection. I don't know. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a thing on. Oh, it's engraved. Morphe V115, and I'm going to do my blush now, which, spoiler alert, it's just the same eyeshadow. If you really want a perfect match, that's how you do it. I'm going to add a little bit of a coral eyeshadow, a coral blush along with the pink, just because with my skin tone, like the bright pink and then just the contour, and sometimes it's just a little start. But if you ever want your blush and your eyeshadow to mix, or your lipstick and your eyeshadow to match perfectly, just go ahead and use your eyeshadow, man. You don't have to only use makeup for what it says it is for on the box. It's yours, you bought it. Okay. Now I'm also going to take Shelly from Benefit Cosmetics, which is a coral blush. I'm really an orange blush girl, so I'm just adding something a little bit more my style on top of the contour and along the edge. Cause yeah. I want it to match, but I don't want it to be giving more work. Alrighty, last touches. I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush from before, and you see where there's a little bit of white? I'm going to go into that light shade and just make sure there is no white. No primer left untouched. And yes, I'm going to put my mascara on. I would tell y'all about my mascara that I'm going to use, but for some reason it's discontinued, so I don't want to recommend it. I need to find out why it's discontinued first. I'm gonna put on my mascara and do my lips, and I'll be right back. And also my lashes, and I'll tell you what lashes I have on in a second. Also, I probably need to fix my contour, so hold on one second. Okay, so I was doing my lip combo, which, by the way, I used the NYX Epic Smoke Liner. I love these as lip liners. This is in Mocha Match. And then I used a Colourpop Lippie stick in the shade Westie. Now, look, the pink is pretty, but it's not a perfect match. Also, I need to put some setting spray on, so don't look at the face, just look at the lips, Using that pink shade that we used before, right into the middle of the center of the lip. I know what you're thinking, Lauren, your lip's gonna look dry. I'm gonna put gloss on anyway, but talk about a perfect match, right? I know I need to do a lip combo video. The Instagram ragdolls have been asking for it. I'm listening. It's not falling upon deaf ears. I'm going to get you a lip combo video, my favorite lip combos. I'm going to also... Ooh! I'm going to also use this Colourpop Lippie Stick and Pitch, which is just a brown. Yeah. Now I'm going to go over it with this Dazzleglass and Rags to Riches, which I remember was like my first MAC lip gloss. Like, I used to be obsessed with this lip gloss when I was younger. And I just now rediscovered it. I'm gonna put that in the middle. It's a little bit light in shape. And then I'm gonna take this Oil Slick by Lottie London. I honestly cannot tell you what the original shade of this was. I can't tell you if it's clear or it was pink or what. I think it was clear. But using our new lip combos, now it's like a little brown. I'm gonna use this on the outer edges of the lip simply because it's not a glitter, it's like a clear gloss. And it kind of, using that Rags to Riches all over might not give me the look I want. This is the look I want. Only thing about using eyeshadow, you gotta make sure you real well, because it will snitch on you. I actually filmed a YouTube video yesterday and I was talking the whole time, and the reason why I had to scratch that and start over today is because my lips were looking so crazy. My eyeshadow on my lips snitched on me. Goddamn. Well enough. Alright. Let me do my lashes and I'll be right back. I just had to show y'all this little lip thing. Alrighty, so here's the final look. I'm wearing the Tresluce Beauty Lashes in Sensual, in shade Sensual. I will put all the makeup details down below. I'll remember to do that, and also I'll put it on Instagram when I post the picture of this look. But yes, here is the final look. Oh! One more thing. I'm gonna take this Colourpop E10 brush. Just a little round down brush. And I'm going to put that in the inner corner. I really want to use a white, but there's no white in this palette, and taking another palette just seems a little bit ludicrous. So it's just this iridescent shade that is in the palette that we already have open. Now the look is done. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything, give me a like. Make sure to show me your recreations and videos. Oh, no, yeah. Make sure to show me your recreations and looks that you did based off of this. And if you change the color, please let me know. I want to make sure that my tutorials are applicable to not just one look, but you can keep, you know, customizing it and using the things that I've taught you to do different looks that look different but are the same thing. You can do this half cut crease with any color combination that you want to do. I really want to try this with brown and mint, so I'll let you know. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe for more videos like this, and let me know what other makeup styles and makeup techniques you want me to do a video on later. When you guys tell me what you want tutorials on, that really helps me out, so I know where to focus my time and bring you the knowledge that you want. And yes, you can follow me on my socials at Raggedy Royal on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to see more looks like these, more small tutorials. And I also have a bucket list series that I do on TikTok where I try different things like, oh, we just tried aerial yoga the other day. Aerial yoga, I tried different cuisines like pad thai or chop top of Kusas was recently, and different fast food places I've never been to like Crystal's, Cadoba, Jack in the Box, things like that. So go check out my TikTok to see me have fun over there. And yes, we are almost at 36,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. And I will be posting more videos soon, so I look forward to seeing you soon. Hopefully stick around. Thank you so much for watching this video, and bye.